My name's Vic Armstrong.
So in terms of the exercise in strengthening, is that with weights or with bands or with what's the actual exercise involved?
Cardiovascular is my main one,
yeah.
Because now I'm getting older and I don't work as hard physically around the stables or at work, because you do this more than running around nowadays. I've got a very powerful finger, fit finger. So I do cardiovascular. I've got a Nordic track.
Yeah.
I keep threatening to get an elliptical, which I love when I'm away. I always go to the gyms in the hotels when I'm away, and I love the ellipticals, but they're almost too forgiving. The Nordic track makes you work very hard.
Right.
So I've got a gym here and gym in my house in LA. So I do the Nordic track every morning, which gets the cardiovascular going, and then I do medium weights. I don't do heavy weights.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be bulky.
Yeah.
In the old days, I'd do 3 or 4 rounds on a heavy bag. And Superman days, I'd spar for probably 10 rounds a day and 20 on a bag. Really used to do a lot of that. But I found the shoulder is not conducive to hitting a heavy bag now, because you keep concussing this socket, which I've had replaced.
Yeah.
So it doesn't do that any good. So that would be painful. So I just do stretching to try and stop getting moves. Nobody wants them. And trying to keep the love handles away, just
use any bands or like other equipment?
Only for my knee. I use the bands for my knee, and I've got there's the stretch band, which I just put strain on there. I've got the ones I used to use for the shoulder, the ones with a handle on the end. It's actually a fantastic bit of kit to take with you. You can do anything with it in just a hotel room. No, it's just a band, a round band with the 2 handles.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But you can put it in the door frame. You can do all sorts of stuff with it.
Right.
And having worked with Schwarzenegger, like I did for many, many years, I always quote everybody, you never have an excuse not to work out because there's no gym available. Because Arnie, is a very hard taskmaster, a great friend of mine. I should have mentioned him as one of my great mates. He's a fantastic guy. We've had some wonderful adventures together. I've done 7 films with him, some for months on end. Yeah. And he said, you never have an excuse not to work out. Every hotel you go in has stairs. You don't have to take the elevator. Anybody will go and run up and down 5 flights of stairs several times. Mexico City altitude, anything. Right. You have your suitcase, you want to lift weights. You have a chair, you have your bed, you put your feet on the bed and you do your press-ups, with your feet on the bed and hands on the floor. Yeah. And he's absolutely right. He said, you can go out running around the block. Yeah. He's absolutely 100% correct. You don't need all the fancy tools to get fit. It's not the tools that make you fit, it's the actual motion.
Absolutely.
And so I like all that sort of stuff,
I was going to say, have you ended up training or going to the gym with people like Arnie or
every day in Conan, Red Sonja, Total Recall, every day. And if you're not there, you phone your room and say, "Where are you, forehead? I'm waiting for you." Everybody's needing a forehead, which means their low forehead, like a neothandral. Your forehead, where are you? And he's great. He's a great motivator. You go work with him. Yeah. Everybody loved him on the units, and you'd have probably the skinniest, nerdiest little guy in the office, and he'd pick on him and say, "Come on, you have to come to the gym." Right. And that guy would go in the gym and walk out there feeling 6'6", because he's such a motivator, and he gives them so much inspiration. He doesn't mock them or anything. He's
serious.
Oh, he's absolutely cares so much about fitness, and he's so intelligent with it as well. He was the first man to get calves, all the weightlifts was doing all the stuff there, but their legs were nothing, and he got the Greek god-shaped legs and things, but he went to mortuaries and studied putting electrodes into bodies and seeing how the arms move when you put electrodes in them, which is what medical students do, and he was part of all that, because he wanted to know how the body moved. That's why he won't just do curls like that, because then you get tennis elbow. You've got to bend them, because that's the way your arm, that's the way you're designed to move. Naturally, and that's what he learned from the mortuary. Things like that. I just love people that are that
way inclined.
That way inclined, and that's specifics, like Harrison Ford. He's so fastidious about what he does. I love that, because I like to think I'm like that.
The attention to detail.
Absolutely, it's so important.
Well, that makes all the difference between being average and being
that's a winner and that's a competitor.
What advice would you give to aspiring stuntmen and women who are preparing to break out into a stunt career, want to use their skills on film and television?
You've basically got to take your attributes, whatever they may be, and be the best in the world you can at them, because that's the only reason. Out of you two, if you both do kung fu, you both do cycling, or you both do fighting, I'll see which is the best of you, and he's the one that get the job. The personality doesn't come into it, unless you're both absolutely the same. And then the other part of the equation is do the job to the best of your ability, but then have a good attitude, be a team player, be somebody worth taking on a show, because the little bit I might use you for, if you're a good team player, will keep you on for another few weeks, because you can help out doing this and that and the other.
Right.
But these are only things, and it's the catch-22, the chicken and the egg. You can only apply these things once you start getting your first job and things. But I guess it is just work as hard as you can at your attribute, and be as best as you can at it. Have a good attitude. Don't get big-headed, because there's always somebody around the corner better than you. There really is. And that was one thing about my book. I hated The World's Greatest Stuntman. I didn't do that. The publishers did that. I was quite happy with Indiana Jones. My life was Indiana Jones and Superman. But the book came out, and I was in a fog of depression for a few weeks. I hated the title. Well, I didn't like it anyway. But it's fine. It sold a lot of books. They're all sold out now, and it's great. But yes, my point is, don't get big-headed. You're not the greatest in the world. There's always somebody better, no matter what you are. To make, you're Tiger Woods one week, or Lewis Hamilton, you got annihilated today in the Hungarian Grand Prix, and got a bad start. There's always somebody waiting around the corner to fill your shoes.
Yes.
But work hard at it, and the harder you work, the luckier you'll get.
Have you got any interesting stunt tricks in your kind of toolbox of techniques and methods you've used over the years?
I learned things from other stuntmen, like Hal Needham. If you jump out of a window and you land on the ground and you run off, a lot of directors want, there's an 8, 10, 12 foot window, they want to see you hit the ground and run off in one shot. How do we do that? Or they want to see somebody do a straight pratfall onto the ground, and it's hard. Little things like you dig a hole in the ground and you take your styrofoam cups and put them upside down, then you put a cardboard board over the top, and usually our full boxes unfolded, just a flattened box, put those over them. Then you fill it over with the earth or those and turf or whatever's on top of it, and you can jump from 8 or 12 feet into that, because it has the same effect as an airbag. It's just the displacement of the air under restriction that goes down, but the ground doesn't go into a big old crash, it just goes like that, but it takes enough impact out of it. We invent equipment like the fan descender and things. But,
you were given some kind of technical award for that.
I got an Academy Award for that, Science and Technology Award. Again, other stuntmen have that, but I'm the only one to have the BAFTA and the Academy Award.
Quite proud of that.
And a Taurus. I got a Taurus, which is the stunt. Our stunt Oscar.
Excellent.
There's quite a campaign to get a Stuntman's Academy Award now.
We're working on that as we speak, I'm in the Academy, so we're sort of fighting from the inside now, hopefully.
How do you feel about CGI in stunts? In the book, I love the bits where you've gone back to the old days and thought, well, I can solve this problem by using an older technique. But of course now it seems digital technology is so easy to use these days.
It is. I think digital technology is fantastic. I really do. Everybody says it's the death knell for stunt people, but it's not. They still need people to physically perform the things. Otherwise, you turn into a cartoon. But it's a wonderful this mechanic, we just did Resurrection, you know, we've got all sorts of pads on the grounds and cables, pulling and safety cables.
Yeah.
And you look at Tom Cruise's Mission 5, hanging on the side of the airplane, you know, all the cables were removed. In the old days, you had to hide those in camera. You know, when I was doing Superman, we had to paint the wires, the flying wires, which are, again, little piano wires. If you're flying across the sky, they paint them blue, or across a building, you paint them red for the bricks and things, and single strand wires, so you hardly saw them. Nowadays, you have Tech 12 as thick as your finger to take tons and tons of string.
Would you mind sharing a few, or a memorable moment from each of these films with each of these actors? For example, Jean-Claude Van Damme on Double Impact. Anything interesting or unusual there?
Jean-Claude was fun. I was actually supposed to play his father in the opening ceremony, cutting the Victoria Pass, where it was going to be a tunnel or something we built in the movie, supposedly. I was supposed to be doing that, and then I ended up taking over directing the movie after the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And my deal was, if I didn't take credit for it, then they'd give me another film to direct, which subsequently was Joshua Tree with Dolph Lundgren, which is fine. Anyway, so I couldn't play that part and direct the movie because I was supposed to direct the second unit and play that part. So now I got bumped up to doing the main unit. I couldn't direct the second unit. So my brother was coming out to work on the main unit for me. So I said, things have changed, Andy. You're directing the second unit, plus you're also playing Jean-Claude's dad. He went, wow. So that was quite a funny moment on that.
Yeah.
Directing my brother playing Jean-Claude's dad, and then killing him. He gets murdered, and that's where the twins get separated. It was quite fun.
What was it like working with Jean-Claude?
He was fun. In those days, I'd never heard of him, actually, I've got to tell you the truth. When I offered the job, I went, yeah, fine, whatever. And I went to get my hair cut for it to Hong Kong. And I was telling my hairdresser, she was saying, what are you working on next? And I said, little film with, I don't know, some video guy, Jean-Claude Van Damme. She went, oh my God, I love him. Oh, great. And I actually went to America first, then to Hong Kong. And while I was in America, they wanted me to meet Jean-Claude, so I met him. And funnily enough, he was going to, we did Universal Soldier straight after it as well, so I did Two on the Bounce with him.
Right.
And we were at the Bellage Hotel, just near where I lived in LA, and Jean-Claude came to meet with the producers, and it was ever so funny. He was lovely. He was really fun in those days because he's in the restaurant. Okay, Vic, and let me do this. And I go, oh, sorry, man. And then I get out and I go, oh, excuse me, sir. My apologies, sir. And it was just knocking tables over. People were looking at him. Who the hell is this man? But great fun.
And Sylvester Stallone on Rambo 3. Going back
Sly, another one. Great guy. I love Sly. Fabulous guy. Really good work ethic. I admire people with work ethic like he does, you know. But that was hot. We were working in Israel, boiling hot, and he'd still go to the gym at night, you know. 3% body fat, you know. It's pretty fit.
Impressive, yeah.
But lovely man. And my son Scott came out and he loved Sly. He was only 9, and introduced him to Sly, and Sly let him fire his Uzi and play with his Rambo knife. My son thought it was heaven.
Yeah.
And he was a good guy, Sly. He loved us, loved the stuntmen. We played polo every lunchtime because he was going through his riding phase at that time. And I had all my Spanish stuntmen over there, talking about picking people for the right jobs, because it was all riding and playing them as you did. On horseback, so I had all my Spanish riders over, as well as my own little crew of stuntmen, English ones. And so every lunchtime we'd have 50-minute lunch, and they'd harrow the Bushgazi field, and they'd change the saddles on the horse, and we'd play polo for half an hour, and then go back to work. It was great. Lovely guy, Sly.
Christopher Reeve, of course, on Superman. He was quite persistent in wanting to do his own action.
We butted heads a bit, which is it's not unusual, that, you know. That happens all the time on the majority of films. And there's a picture of him over there, actually, with Wendy and myself, I think, well, Chris. But I met him way before we started shooting, 6 months before. We were doing prep on the movie, and I trained him.
You trained him in the gym and stuff?
Yeah, we got him started, and then we got him his own trainer when we got closer to shooting that kept with him all the time. But Alf Joyce, who was my partner at the time, fabulous PTI in the army and everything else. And he was great. And Chris, we had a great time, and obviously through the film there's one incident, and I was sitting in makeup, getting made up, getting a horrible kiss coat. And Chris walked by, stopped and came out, what are you doing getting made up? I said, well, I'm doing that. I said, no. And so we had a little argument. I said, look, I want to do it. I'm Superman. But don't stop me earning work, Chris. Earning money, Chris. All I'm doing is a job. You know, you do it if you want, whatever you want. But this is, you know. So we had a little argument over it, and we went out there, and I smashed into this car windshield about 3 times, bounced over it once, hit the radiator once, then hit the windshield and smashed it. It was a very Neanderthal way of doing things. But I wasn't a coordinator. I just came in to double in for those things. Yeah. Anyway, that day, and then I got thrown in the side of the Marlboro truck, which is breakaway, but it's still tin. It cuts you if you get it wrong. And, so I get changed that night, and Chris came by the dressing room, bashed on the door, and said, "Hey Vic, sorry about that." He said, "I'm glad I wasn't doing that." He was very sweet, you know. Yeah. It's a tragedy what happened to him. Absolute tragedy.
Yeah. You're a big fan of martial arts films. Mm-hmm. Who would you consider inspirational figures in martial arts movies?
I'd have to say Jackie Chan. I think he's phenomenal. Yeah. And Tony Jaa. I think he's the next step up. He hasn't got probably Jackie Chan's experience and probably breadth of imagination, but he's very, very good. Mm. It makes it look more realistic. I'm not a great lover of fight, and nothing happening, you know. Kung Fu or I like Muay Thai personally, because I think it's a much more realistic form of Asian fighting. It is really fighting to me, rather than
boxing,
theatre fighting, which a lot of Kung Fu on film can look like that because of
wushu and like
yeah. And you know, you can see the relationship, because when you go to China and places, it is a form of theatre for them.
You work with Jet Li, of course, and Michelle Yeoh on The Mummy 3 and Tomorrow Never Dies. Other action guys, Dolph Lundgren, of course, on Joshua Tree. There are some martial artists that are great at real fighting but struggle with stunts and screen combat. Which martial artists have been the easiest to work with?
Jean-Claude is very good, I must say, because you know it's not about delivering punches; it's pulling them. You know. My brother was saying, because he worked with Jackie Chan quite a bit, and most of his, and I know a few of them, most of his doubles are sort of more dancers than fighters. Really? Because a good, for me, film martial artist is a dancer that can make the moves and throw the punches, because you don't have to deliver the punches, and you don't have to deliver them as quick as, like a boxer. You know, boxers are not necessarily good film fighters, you know, because you never see it coming, you know, and it's this long bomb, it's hit you before you've seen it, whereas we do haymakers where you've got time to duck and have a bowl of soup and stand up by the time it hits you. Yeah. So, Jean-Claude was good, give him his due there, I must say, and Tom's great, you know, and even does his martial arts, Tom Cruise and things. Dolph is pretty good, he's big, so big people hit the ground hard, you know, so that's the only thing in that, but
Jet Li?
Jet Li was good.
How was your interaction with him? Did you talk to him? Or?
Yeah, he talked to him. His Didi, his man, does all the choreography for him. You know, he brings a choreographer with him. I think he's very good. I liked him. He's nice, very quiet, gentle person, and introverted almost. You know.
Yes. Yeah. I heard he's very, very spiritual into his Buddhism.
Yeah, he is, and into charities as well, and everything else. And he always said Mummy was going to be the last thing, but I think he meant the last action film. But lovely man, very gentle. Right. Michelle is fabulous, Yo. Yes. I'd work with her every day of the week if I could. I love her. She's fabulous. Just a nice gal, you know. Yeah. And we just worked with her last year again, and you know, I worked with her on The Mummy and on The Bond. My wife doubled her on The Bond.
Yeah, we just saw the photos. Yeah.
No, she's a sweetheart and great contributor, you know, and just a professional.
She loves to do her own physical acting.
Oh yeah, no, she's great, great mover.
Interesting former dancer.
Exactly, former dancer. You see that? Yeah. Well, dancing, you have to remember the moves, you have to remember the rhythm and the timing, and selling it. That's exactly what you do on fights, because you don't want contact, and everybody has to move at the same rhythm, the same timing, with the same energy and the same speed. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
In your book, you talk about Chow Yun-fat's work ethic on the set and Chinese martial arts team on Charlie's Angels. What are the pluses of working with the Chinese stunt crews?
They're very, very organised, very disciplined, incredibly disciplined. And Chow Yun-fat, I had such a wonderful time. I directed him and Gong Li on Shanghai. And he's absolutely incredible man, you know, a great fan of his, Replacement Killers and stuff like that. And I did the first shoot 'em up with him since Replacement Killers. And he was great. He'd be there at 7:30 in the morning on the set, and he'd line up, do his own standing in, and then he'd go and sit in the chair, and we would do a big shoot 'em up in a restaurant. He'd sit in one of the restaurant tables, wait, and then come in and do his shoot 'em up and get changed again and go to lunch with us and come back just like a crew member. And I said, you know, in fact, this is incredible, you know, that you do this, you know. And it's my job. It's what we do in Hong Kong. That's what we're paid for. I come to work and I work and I go home. You know, it's a very, very interesting. I like the discipline of it all.
Right, you're working with Jason on that one.
Yeah.
How's it like working with Jason?
Great, lovely, because he was going to be a stuntman. He was training with a friend of mine who became a stuntman. He's one of the top stuntmen now, Simon Crane. First time I met Jason was in New York in the Greenwich Village, and we watched a big fight with a gang of people in a brownstone there, and Jason was there, and we started talking, and he said about he knew Si, and he said if he didn't get on, I think it was Melbourne or whatever Olympics he was training for, he said if he didn't make the team for that, the Commonwealth Games, and if he didn't make the team for that, he was going to then train to come on the stunt register to be a stuntman. Right. But of course he didn't. He did his acting and ended up acting, and now he's a multi-millionaire. I drove by his new house the other day. It's 12 million.
Wow,
not bad.
Are there any actors or martial arts actors that you'd like to work with in the future?
Jackie Chan, 100%. Yeah.
Jackie.
Yeah, I've done my Jet Li. Liked him.
Yeah.
And Tony Jaa. I'd like to work with Tony Jaa.
What's coming up for Vic Armstrong? Any other special projects in the pipeline that we should look out for? In terms of films or...
I just done, as I said, Mechanic Resurrection.
Yeah.
And then I went off and did Eddie the Eagle. Remember the skier? Eddie Edwards, which I was a great fan of. I was thrilled to get a photograph with him, you know. Wow. He looks just like he did in the old days, except doesn't wear glasses, he's had LASIK done.
Oh!
But great character, he's training for the next Olympics apparently. A couple of things I've been offered to direct. I've got Sunday Horse coming out, which I shot and directed with Linda Hamilton, an old friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
And Ving Rhames, and William Shatner.
Oh.
And Nikki Reed. She was in Twilight, and Georgie Rawlings, who's my daughter, she's acting in it as well, she's a good actress. Wow. That's coming out very soon, I hope.
Any warrior wisdom or motivating quote or affirmation that's helped you stay on track and moulded you into who you are today?
I think the best leveller, or whatever you want to call it for me, was the fact that I grew up working with horses. They're the greatest leveller on this earth. You know, you could be on top of the world 1 minute and riding the Derby winner, and you could be Frank Dettori, jump off the horse and break both legs the next second, you know?
Yeah.
Or get kicked in the head by a horse. They just bring you down to earth very, very quickly, and it stops you getting too big for your boots, no matter how clever you think you are, or how good you are, how talented you are. As I said earlier, there's always somebody better. And horses have no respect for your ego whatsoever, and they will always bring you down to earth. And to me, I learnt that very, very early on, and I think it stood me in good stead, you know.
Right.
Don't start believing your own bullshit.
You've got lots of fans all over the world who know you from one film or another, whether it's Indiana Jones, Star Wars, James Bond, Superman, The Mummy. What special message would you like to share with them and Kung Fu Kingdom readers and your fans around the world?
I'd love to say I hope to see you all soon. I was emailing Thailand the other day, and I got Big Mike Leader in Hong Kong. He emails me all the time, and I'd love to do another film in Hong Kong. I can't wait to get back to Shanghai. But there's a lot of other Asian countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, all the other places we work with, Sri Lanka, and I love the culture, I love their movies, and I'd love to be back there and see them soon. I'm glad they're still enjoying my movies. I hope I can keep making them.
Brilliant, brilliant. And if people would like to find out more about you, where's the best place to go?
They can follow me on Twitter and at vicarmstrong.com.